And I do apologize. For my tardiness in answering your question. I just found, well, I just, it's been there, but I just sort of realized that I had not answered it. And the ones around yours I had answered. So for some reason I overlooked it, and I do apologize. Okay. Now you included two images. And with the new way that we're answering questions, I'm not going to have those images up there. Well, I might. What I might do is I might include them. So I think you redacted everything. Okay, but your official letter of diagnosis of dyslexia. This is just your rights. It's your procedural safeguards for 504. That's all that is. It's not. It's not acknowledging that they agree, they disagree. It's just telling you what your rights are. And if you look at the second page with the numbered things on your list, the last couple are going to explain to you that you retain a right to disagree with the team's decision, if if uh, if you wish. You know that the Office of Civil Rights is an enforcement arm, and then you also have a right to challenge it, because even under 504, your child has a right to a free and appropriate public education, as defined by 504, which is similar to special education, but a little bit different. And so the fact that you presented a dyslexia evaluation is one component. Okay, that becomes a piece that they will utilize at your 504 meeting, and I'm sure you've already had it by now, so you'll have to sort of let me know whether everything went fine. But I mean, those safeguards, every parent gets them once a year at least, or in their 504. They're not required to have an IEP meeting or a 504 meeting every year. But when they do, they need to give you your procedural safeguards there. So that's all that means. It's not promising anything. It's not waiving your rights. But the school system does have a requirement under the law to conduct their own evaluations, because they're in possession of all of your child's education records, and they have to look at the need for the accommodations globally. And so the outside evaluation that you're bringing in is just one component of a bigger snapshot of your child. All right, so that's what the team would then discuss, and then, you know, you can't call it service, because dyslexia or 504 isn't special education, or specialized instruction is what we call it. Now, at the same time, because of the changes made to Every Student Succeeds Act, there's a lot of confusion, because response to intervention was expanded to include, in my viewpoint, specialized instruction for specific learning disabilities, which dyslexia would fall under. But yet it's not special education. It's still within the purview of RTI, and it's still within the purview of 504, and your child can be involved in tier interventions. They're still required to use peer-reviewed, scientifically based programs and approaches. At the same time, like I said, it's a very confusing animal now. You know, this RTI 504, the accommodations, and how we service dyslexia. You know, there's some disagreement on whether or not it's better served under the umbrella of RTI and general education than it is under special education. And that was the position of the Obama administration, as far as the experts that helped. I should always write experts like this. Okay, I don't know who these people are, so quite frankly, I don't know if they're experts or not. And I hate to assume, because I've met too many supposed experts that don't impress me at all. So I back that up. Experts. Okay. That, and this is in the legislation, that or in Every Student Succeeds Act, or at least what went into it, the idea or the philosophy that went into it, that kids with dyslexia or specific learning disabilities are better served in the tier interventions in general education. All right. Now, at the same time, we've also seen different studies coming out of, I think it's Harvard was the last one that I've seen, where that isn't the case. That if we can get the children impacted with a specific learning disability in special education in their earlier years, then that is the better route for them. And I know I went tangential, but I'm just sort of trying to answer this all the way around. But I also wanted to throw out there, 504 is just for accommodations. It is not specialized instruction. Specialized instruction is provided through special education. 504 is simply accommodations. But like I said, 504 accommodations, that's one thing, but then you have this apparatus of response to intervention, and response to intervention is not 504, and it's also not special education. It's something separate. But response to intervention can take in both groups of children. I have some questions on why special education kids would be in RTI, because RTI is a program for all students. And how is this individualized as an IEP if all students, it doesn't make any sense, like I had said. But hopefully you got that all settled. And like I said, this just your procedural safeguards. And if they disagree, or if there is a disagreement on your 504 team, then you have the same mechanisms to request a due process hearing under 504, go straight into federal court under 504, or ask the Office of Civil Rights to get involved on your behalf on this specific issue. Okay?